Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. So here's the deal. It really looks like the creators of The Passage, they want a season 2. And they definitely created this season finale so that they could show the viewers and I'm sure show the network that, hey, this is what a season 2 will look like. You need to invest in it. That's all I got because the title was Stay in the Light and Last Lesson. So before that, remember today, this week, Empire comes back, and I will be watching, as I have been, Star comes back. That's all tomorrow, so I will be watching. I do reviews for those shows, as well as check out my channel, Romie Whispers ASMR. There'll be a new video up tomorrow. I noticed that a lot of people usually watch it, I guess, like later at night or on Thursdays, so that's fine, but it's always up at least on Wednesday. Now, let's jump into this because it was 2 hours, so I don't want to hold you for too long. The show starts off with, we see Fanning. Fanning is talking to Lear, and Fanning was just infected, and Fanning has his team, and we see Clark there. His whole goal is to Lear's whole goal is to get Fanning out of there because Fanning said he just wanted to die. Fanning wanted to die, and his buddy told him that's not going to happen. We're going to fix you. We're going to cure you. Okay. Now it's present day, and Amy, she turned, but she hasn't morphed and changed like the rest of them. So we see that Brad is there. He finds his wife. He finds Nicole, Dr. Nicole. The thing is, the door is still locked, and they have to have a game plan. They have to go and help Amy. Clark is talking to Lear and saying that, hey, we need to get them out of there. They're all down there, and Lear has already given up. So Lear is fine with nuking the place. Yes, there is a contingency plan that would allow for the virals to be killed off and for society to potentially be safe. Amy has to deal with the fact that Fanning is still trying to get at her because he has 12. He has the 12 that he needed because Amy makes 12. The problem is, to be in full control, he has to have control over her. She doesn't want to do that. It's now time for them to try to put the system back together because of all the damage and all the tampering that has been done. The system has locked them out, so they can't open anything. They have the security sensors, but those are offline. All they have are their ears, and they know that they're surrounded. Dr. Nicole is saying, you guys need to go. So while they go and run, Clark goes and walks Nicole through this process of kind of resetting stuff down there. And I always love their little banter back and forth, but this is the season finale, so they definitely put money into the production value as far as now's the time to pull out all the stops to show why we should have been watching this show for the past 8 weeks. And when I tell you, for me, it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. All the virals were coming from the roof, and Brad, one by one, was taking them out, taking them down, shooting them. I felt bad because Anthony bit Lila. Anthony bit her. He bit her, so she got infected. So now Brad says he can't leave. Now he has to go and get the cure from Dr. Nicole in order to save his wife. It's just a mess. So now Amy, again, has the responsibility of taking care of these grown people. And it's too much. It is too much. We see that, what was it, Gilead? He wants to go and just kill her. Lila's saying, yes, just do that. And of course Clark is like, no, don't listen to him. I'm thinking, Gilead, you're the one who gave them the access codes and the clearance to do whatever they want. I'm not listening to you, period, even if you have a point. Now, Lear is talking to Amy, and again, kind of giving Amy the same speech that everyone kind of gives her about she's the hope, she's the one to go and fix everything. That's a lot for a young girl. That's my problem with all of this. The weight of the world is on her shoulders, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but I guess that's life. So Clark is, like I said, talking uh, Nicole through this process of resetting stuff, and then Shauna Babcock comes out of nowhere. And like I said last week, I felt like Shauna Babcock, that there was at least some humanity in her left, or at the very least, she wants to think that she has some humanity left. So she goes and glamours Nicole, and then they have a conversation. And she was like, wait, did you treat everyone like you treated me? As in, Sean was asking Nicole. Nicole said, no, you were different. They were just criminals. They were just violent. You just seemed like someone that, if your life was different, we could have been friends. And I believe her when she said that, and so did Shauna, because again, a lot of people don't understand. This is about choice. Just like everything, the virals have a choice of how they could do things, whether maybe they don't think they do, or maybe, the worst of the worst were chosen, so they're going to make the wrong decisions, but not all of them and not all the time. So when it looks like Shauna is having a breakthrough, Brad goes and shoots her, so then she goes and runs off, and Nicole almost has that look, what are you doing? But Nicole is being saved, so she understands this is war. They have to figure out where can they go and hide from the virals so that they're not just picked off right away. The only place Brad could think of was Fanning's containment cell. So that's where they are. They're hiding. And it's crazy because now Fanning goes and reaches out to Amy again, because Fanning sees that they're about to be nuked. They're about to be nuked, but that also includes your friend. That also includes the agent and Nicole. And he knows how much, the agent means to Amy. So he's trying to use that. What he doesn't realize is that Amy has had the weight of the world on her shoulders for so long that she's really starting to make those big girl decisions that she shouldn't have to. And when I say that, I mean Amy is at the point where she understands the decisions have to be made. She understands that sacrifices have to be made. He's trying to go and, like I said, say that you can save them, and you know what you have to do. You know what you need to do. And that's when Anthony goes to her safe place, and Anthony is just like, hey, I'm sorry that things ended up this way, but you know what you need to do. You know what your decision really needs to be. And when he was saying that, I felt like Anthony's not telling her to save them. That's not what he's saying at all. And so then while Lear is being held at gunpoint by Clark, because Clark doesn't want to go nuke the place, dun dun dun, Amy is having these flashbacks of her life, and then her life with the agent, like all the good times that she had. And I said, oh no, Amy's gonna go and she's gonna go nuke the place. She is. She's gonna go and nuke it. And she was crying, and everyone was looking at her like, huh? Gilead was like, see? Why is she the only one making the right decisions over here? I'm looking at him like, I'm gonna knock his lights out. While all of that's happening, the warning signal goes off, and they only have 2 minutes. And so Brad was like, really? Okay, who set down the alarm? Clark said Amy did. So then Brad realized, oh, okay, it's that bad. The situation's that bad where Amy's the one who made the grown-up decision. And they find an access pad. One of the people working on it found an access pad. Access escape route that was hidden in plain sight. So now, at this point, Nicole is going to stay behind and sacrifice herself so that Brad can take the cure to his wife. And I was pissed. I said no. But I guess this is her retribution for being a part of this human trial study for the cough cough bird flu. So that was the only reason I couldn't be too upset. When I tell you that was the only reason I couldn't be too upset, Clark was over it. Clark was over it, but he knew life had to go on. The cure gets given to Lila, and all is temporarily right with the world. The problem is, now that their tracking system is down because the bomb went off, they can't tell if Fanning's still alive. But Amy knows that he's still alive, and he's actually up top, and now they have to go and fight for their life. Lear has basically given up hope, so he said, take the cure and run. I'm going to stay here. I thought he was going to be a distraction, but no, that's not what happened. While the fighting was commencing, because it was dark and they had their UV lights to try and thwart the virals, but it wasn't working. It was working, but it wasn't enough because there's too many of them. Clark gets hit. And when I tell you he gets hit, he gets knocked, tossed, head first into a tree. So I said, oh, he's going to die from brain damage. He's going to die from brain damage unless, because I already knew where this was going. Shauna Babcock, she comes out of nowhere, like she's been doing, and she has a chat with him. She has a chat. While that's going on, Fanning was able to intercept Amy, and he was choking. I said, get your nasty hands off of that girl. You predator. But then we see this dreamscape. And it was crazy because as soon as I saw the imagery, before I saw her, I said, oh, this is giving me like Motherland, Africa, and Amy as the creator. And as soon as I said that in my mind, that's what I saw. I saw Amy with a new, a new hairstyle, and she was saving Fanning because Fanning was dying out. I don't know why she was saving Fanning. It was the future. I was very confused, but I said, okay. So then Fanning goes and leaves. They find Amy, or Amy finds them, and they're trying to get out of the woods. And guess who comes back? What was her name? Lita? Lita comes back, and she said, look, this is my test. This is my testimony. I'm going to do what I need to do. Lita goes and makes sure she kills all the virals, all the humans that were potentially turning into virals. I said someone had to do it, especially these are agents. They're trained. Oh, it's going to be a problem. So she kills them, and then she moves on. She lives on. And while all of that was happening, Shauna, she found Clark, and she said, okay, dude, you know you're dying, right? He said, yeah, and it sucks. So then she said, but we all have a choice. Do you really want to live out the last moments of your life like this? Moments of your life just dying right now? Or do you want a second chance? And he was like, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to turn into some monster, something. I'm thinking some monster or something is about to save your life because you know you don't want to die yet. You know you don't want to die yet. He doesn't want to die yet. And so because of that, he accepts the offer. He accepts the offer like I knew he would, but we don't see that in part 1. Now in part 2, we see Lita. She goes in and she thought, oh, because she sees Dr. Lear. Look, and she's looking at him like, what are you doing? Because he had the gun in his hand. He was going to kill himself because he just couldn't handle. He thought, the world was over. He messed up. I said, you don't get to go and do this to the world and then get off scot-free. Because that's what you really want. And that's what Lita essentially told him. So then she said, no, you're going to go and help fix this place. So until you do that, I'm going to take this away from you. And so then it starts off as 30 days later. Things were okay. We had Brad. He was fishing with Amy. And they were having, just a good moment. His wife is still there. She's learning how to really take care of herself, and they're acting as a family. It's cute, but the world is being destroyed as they know it. And I noticed that Amy wasn't eating, but they didn't notice that Amy still wasn't eating. I guess they noticed it for a bit, but Amy's trying to hide the fact that she's turning. She's finally all the way turning because she's never had human blood. She's never killed, and it's kind of messing with her system. because she is a viral. It's just that her genes were different, especially since she was younger. Now she's getting older. I don't think people really thought about that. So now Brad and Lila, they go into town, and whew, there was a viral. But the viral was just looking at her. The viral scared her, but didn't attack her. The viral got on the offense once he saw the gun, which had me thinking, okay, so this is proof that they're not just absolute monsters that have absolutely no control over themselves. It's a situation where some of them still retain some form of their consciousness, and they have the ability to choose. I don't know if maybe she reminded him of someone he knew or used to know, but we see this other people come out, and it looks like a YouTube podcast conspiracy theorist dude who is eventually gonna die, but before he does, he gives you all the clues that you need. And he's been listening out on the radio, on any form of media, getting intel, and has this list. And this list shows all the hot spots of where there's viral activity. But the activity where, because Shauna is from Vegas, and so at least in Vegas, nothing is happening, which is odd. So you have to keep that in mind, because all the virals just wanted to go home after helping Fanning get out. Now we see that Clark is still alive, like I figured, and he's at essentially a I forgot what you call it. A place where people can find refuge. And there's this little girl who, she doesn't look like she's turning, but because she was sick, the guards didn't want to admit her. They wanted to put her in a separate place and wanted to send her out. But he told his people, look, she's okay. She's okay. You know who isn't okay? There's a rapist and a murderer who's held in a cell, and he definitely fits the type of, if you turn your back, I'm going to murk you. And I already knew where this was going. See, some of this is pretty predictable, but that's partially because I've watched a lot of stuff like this before, so it's okay. I knew that guy was going to be taken because Clark said, oh, I'll take him out of here because he can't be here. I'm thinking, yeah, take him out of here and give him to Shauna. And that's actually exactly what happened. Shauna's being held up in some abandoned business building, and their deal is she saved Clark, so he said, I don't want you going and just randomly killing people. Instead, why don't you go and I'll bring them to you. I'm thinking, how long is that going to work? But okay. We see that, guess who's still alive? Dr. Lear is still alive, as we knew, and Lita was alive. They go to, we'll just call it the CDC, even though that's not even around anymore. But something like the CDC, government agency that they're going to go and help create the cure. Jonas calls, and he calls Clark and says, oh, I'm so happy that you're alive. Clark doesn't have time to talk to him because he has to go and feed his girlfriend. Has to go and feed her. And that whole relationship, I knew that wasn't going to last for too long. At least the way that we knew it. Due to the fact that she is going to get tired of that. Going to get very tired of that. We see Brad and his wife being closer than ever, but his wife wants to go and make a real difference. She wants to go and help people. She wants to get out there in the real world and see if she can recreate the cure. I said, okay, great, beautiful. So she goes and leaves them. She tells Amy to watch out for him. And I'm thinking, oh, this little girl constantly is being told to watch out for the world. And yes, I know the agent is watching out for her, but it's too much. It's too much. It is way too much. Now we see that Lear's supposed to be working on recreating the cure himself, and he keeps seeing Fanning, and Fanning is just trying to tell him it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It doesn't matter. The world is already done. I'm saying he's saying that because he wants Lear to stop and to give up. But Lear doesn't have a choice. He has people over him once again telling him, yo, here's how this is gonna play out, dude. Brad keeps pushing Amy to learn survival skills, to learn how to control her emotions because her senses are so heightened, and also she's now a teenage girl. It's just too much. It's too much. And she's trying to learn, archery and bow and arrow, and he's failing, but then after he kind of gives her the spiel of you have to do this, you have to, she realizes, okay, he's trying to prepare her. It's going to be okay. It was a cute moment between the two of them afterwards where he was braiding her hair. I said, look at him. Because he was saying, look, he was quizzing her on certain things because he's preparing her for war. It sucks, but he has to prepare her for war. And the funny thing is that I said, now doesn't that braid pattern look similar? It looks like Lita's, if I'm not mistaken, because I feel like at one point she had braids. If I'm not mistaken, she has a lot of hair, so maybe not, but, when the hair is braided down, it's serious time. It was a really cute moment. I said, okay, did a good job. Now, Clark, as I said, he's having some troubles with Shauna because Shauna says she wants more. She feels like he's just starving her so that she's not strong, but she doesn't want to be this way, but she is, so she wants to live. She doesn't want to go and just be, on the verge of life or just barely maintaining, because that's what she thinks that he's doing to her, that he's just giving her just enough sustenance to survive, and she's like, that's not fair, and that wasn't the deal. He feels like, okay, cute, but you're going around killing people. She said, that's not me. I'm here, and it's 50-50. I want to believe her, I really do, and so I'll say I'll believe her for now, because I don't have any other information to go off of. There's other virals. Come on now. So now, once again, Amy is talking to Fanning, and Fanning is just like, Amy, it's only a matter of time. I can give you the food that you need. The agent doesn't know that you're not eating now, does he? And so he's trying to coerce her, but she stops his advances and says that no. She says go away, even though she wants to feed. And that also means that guy really was attacked by Fanning, because Fanning was outside. Lita has to tell Lear that, hey, until we figure this out, you're not dying on me. Because Lear was like, well, there's an empty room that you can stay in. No, I'm going to be right next to you because you can't be trusted. And I'm glad that she's smart enough to know that. Now, the dudes that were helping them out before, come and they're trying to find their friend. They're trying to find their friend who was attacked by Fanning, and he has already turned. But it's too late because in the midst of him turning, he feels really good. He feels really strong. He feels really powerful. So then he goes and attacks Brad. And we don't see the attack. That's the only thing I'm pissed at. I said, really? So we didn't see, out of everything, that's what we didn't see. But we did see the result. He was bit. He was bitten, and that freaks all of them out. They want to go and kill him because they feel like it's too late. Amy doesn't want that. Brad's saying you have to, because if you don't, then I'm going to attack you. That's what's going to happen. So then they finally position themselves to kill Brad, and it triggered Amy. Amy went off. And killed both of them. She killed both of them, and she said, I didn't feel bad about it. I was there to protect the agent, like he was there to protect me. So that's what I did. But then she left. She left because she felt like she wouldn't forgive her, understand her actions, which I'm saying, Amy, come on now. This is real life. Come on now. But she says she regrets that. Now, we see Lear talking to the guy in charge of this current organization because he has a prototype of the cure, but he doesn't want to do human trials like they used to do. And the main issue is that he gets into this like war room meeting and finds out that all these other countries don't trust the United States. They don't trust the United States. They have weapons of mass destruction ready to go and attack the United States if they need to, because this is something that was supposed to be contained and they're not being transparent. And the United Kingdom said, look, the other people don't trust you, so it's only a matter of time before you potentially get attacked and clipped. I already told you that, the Shauna, because Clark came back another time and was going to try and kill Shauna, but then instead they make out and it looks like Shauna dips out after that last encounter. I said, look at that. The show ends with... So Lear decides that he's going to actually do the human testing on himself. I said, finally, some accountability. Finally. Amy gives Brad the cure and she leaves. Now, next thing we know, the world gets destroyed. Because in order to try and... Because remember, all the countries know where the hot spots of the virals are. So they go and nuked all of those places. And now it's a wasteland. 97 years later in the Palm Desert. I'm thinking, 97 years? And Amy still looks the same because she officially turned. And we see virals out. She goes, and I loved the warrior princess, braids and hairstyle, and she has the bow and arrow, the same thing that the doctor, taught her with, and she finds the last traces of human, of mankind, and she goes there because she feels like, the Asian, because she feels like he's still alive. And I have a feeling he's still alive too. I have a feeling that he probably turned himself willingly, probably met up with Clark, got turned so that they can figure out how they can save the world. I wouldn't be surprised. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. And like I said, I have other videos. I still do Love and Hip Hop New York at the very least, even though that's almost over, thank God. I still do Empire Star is coming back. My ASMR videos on my other channel, a bunch of stuff really. Oh, Married to Medicine, LA, Family or Fiance, you name it.